Well, hello there, and welcome to our Sir Victor's Overcomers session today. I am so happy to be here. Well, hello. We are trying to get on Facebook here to make sure, well, hey, we are here, and guess what? We have light.
Yeah.
We have light. You know, earlier on today when I had Dr. Sandra Lemons here, it was all dark, but I got it figured out, okay? We pray that it'll continue to go good. I'm excited to introduce some, and I cannot say your first name. I'm just going to say Lady Latrice Preston. You say your first name when we get a chance here, but guess who is on my couch? This is somebody who is truly an overcomer, amen?
Yeah.
I am just so excited to have you here with us today. And I want you to tell them your name. You share with them what your name. Let me see if I can invite a couple of people here while you're telling them your name and everything, and see if anybody can try to do a lunch and learn with us, okay?
It is Shakundala.
Shakundala.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, Shakundala. You know, I know during your time, now, that's your birth name, or is that some people change their name, you know?
Yes.
Is that your birth name?
Yes.
Okay, it's a beautiful name, too, because when I heard you start to share your name, I was like, wow, that is so amazing. So tell me a little bit about your ministry, share that, you know, let them hear that, and kind of share where you're going and what you're up to and that kind of thing, and then we're going to jump into the meat of the matter of why I chose you to come and sit on my couch as an overcomer. Amen. So go ahead and share. I'm trying to invite a few people here now.
Right now, I'm in the midst of about 3 or 4 things. But I am a life coach. I do life coaching. I do life coaching for women in transition.
Yes.
My past history is being in transition, in and out of shelters. So in my earlier years, I owned a shelter for women and children and single women in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran the shelter for about 5 years until 9/11 hit. And then the funding stopped. And I couldn't afford to keep it going, so I had to close it down. But I've been working with women like over 20 years.
My God.
So I really have a desire to work with teens and young adults.
Yes.
That's my call.
You know, when I met you over at Pastor Kimberly's church, and talking about the issues of domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
I met so many wonderful women, powerful women of God, and you were one of them. When I saw you, and I looked at this woman, I was like, wow, because I think some of the things that you were sharing had to do with, you know, of course, trying to forgive.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
yeah.
It was such a tearjerker for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you had heard some of the things that I had said in regards to forgive. There's Pastor Tiffany now. Hey, Pastor Tiffany. And, you know, some of those things I think was so important to be addressed because we have a lot of people who are ministering to other people, and actually they're walking in unforgiveness. I was one of those, traveling internationally with my television show and speaking through my ministry, talking about forgiveness, talking about, you know, relationships and healing. And I was not totally healed. I mean, I knew how to, you know, preach it up real, real good and tell you what you need to be doing. Yeah. But within my true self, God had to show me, you know. Yes. And, oh, God, and that's why I was so moved by your book. Yes. This is her book, y'all. I thought it was just powerful. And it is When God Unveils You to You.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You know, when I was reading in here, one of the parts, I want to make sure I get back to that page, and I'm going to start sharing part of your testimony, you know, about, you know, when you were coming up and all of that and what had you in this deep, deep, bitter place in your life, you know. And then I just wanted to share a piece of the nuggets that I got out of this book. I thought it was amazing that you kept it real in here. Yeah. And I think that's what attracted me even more so, too. You talked about, you said, with every fiber of your being, you said, I wanted to reject what God was showing me about myself.
Yeah.
You know, don't we do that?
Yes.
We want to cover it up with titles, get all types of education, buy all the label clothes, but yet we still know the real you in the mirror. My God, help us today. And then at the end of this particular chapter where you was talking about, I think this one here is the chapter 1, you were talking about unveiling you. Yeah. Okay, you put your name there. And at the end, you said this, talking about, you said the truth was bittersweet.
Yes.
But I accepted all that God said to me, and I answered, yes, Lord. Then you put 2 Corinthians 5:1. You said, for we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle will dissolve, we have a building of God, a house not made with hands, eternal in the heavens. And you said, if you are truly ready for this adventure, prepare for God to remove layers from you as if you were an onion while he unveils you to you.
That's right.
I thought that was so powerful. And then you gave a beautiful prayer that if you're ready to process this. That's the key word, right?
Yes.
Processing. You know, it took me 15 years for me to process. 15 long years. And so I want to hear from you, and be sure to speak up a little loud so that they can hear and that they can hear on the conference call line as well. So we're going to try to allow at least 10 or 15 minutes toward the end if you all want to call in and stick with my guest. I am talking to, can I say her first name right? Let me try. Shakundala. Did I say it right? Oh! Shakundala. Shakundala Latrice. Preston. They call you Latrice. I guess so. It's hard. So, but it's beautiful.
Thank you.
But trying to process, you know, I think that that's the hardest process. And I know you as a life coach and you as a minister of the gospel, haven't you noticed that we know how to just try to cover that up and how we know how to make sure that we say the right thing and look very, very godly?
That's right.
When all the time God is saying, don't go there. You know you're not healing that. Don't go there. But we do it because we want to make sure people can see, I've arrived in this place.
Right.
Tell us how God began to unpeel you as you begin to even. Because I think way before you wrote this book, you was already really going through. But I think, I want you to tell us all the cookies and the ice cream. Because I was like, oh, my God, this girl was telling my story, especially with unforgiveness of my mother.
Yeah.
Tell about the part. Let's start with when you were the little girl, when you started to grow up and dealing with those things.
Well, first of all, I was born a child of rape.
Oh, my.
And because my mother was raped, my mother had, in my opinion, my mother, she mistreated me all of my life. So, she beat me, and then she ended up on drugs in my earlier teen years. She ended up on drugs and alcohol and partying a lot. And probably when I was about 10 years old, I had a sister that passed. She died from leukemia. She was 4 years old. And after my sister, probably about 5 to 7 years later, I had a brother that died. And we were the first three. My mom ended up having 3 more, but we were the first 3, and I'm the oldest of the 3.
Okay.
So at this time, my mother was just engulfed in drugs and alcohol.
Oh, my God.
And with the passing of my siblings, she totally became emotionally unavailable.
Oh, my God.
So I was left to process that as a child, the grief by myself.
Yes.
So that didn't work out too well for me. I ended up pregnant at 13.
I ended
up pregnant again at 16 and again at 19.
Oh, girl.
And because she was, her and my stepfather was on drugs so bad, and they would just, they were just so mean and just bitter because they were hurt that God had took their children from them. Yes. So she didn't want to see me because I was the child of rape.
Were you the only one left?
Yes, I was the only one left.
Oh, my God.
I was the only one left at that time. So I really had to just grow up,
Yes,
the
on your own.
The parenting stopped.
Oh,
I
God.
just had to grow up. So that was hard for me. So I found myself in and out of shelters because my mom, she didn't, she made it clear that she didn't want me there. So I lived in and out of the shelters and just going through abusive relationships and alcohol myself, never drugs, but alcohol myself, working at 16 as a barmaid in a club. They didn't even know I was 16. They thought I was 21. Oh,
my God.
So just trying to make money for me and my children. Plus, then my mom started having children on drugs. She had 3 more children.
She had 3 more?
Yes, and they were crack babies.
Oh, girl.
So, they had all of these emotional issues that they still deal with now. And it was just so hard because then I had to try to help them too. So it was
mother them
at 16.
With your 3 and these 3. Oh, my God.
So I ended up moving out of the house and just really trying to stay away because I knew that by me being in the household with my mom, she it was like her looking at her pain from her rape.
Yeah.
So she never treated me the same as the other children. So coming up, I always had a feeling that she hated me.
Yeah.
You know, and she used to beat me, and just it was really hard to be around her.
Well, when did you learn that you were a part of, a result of rape?
I didn't learn that until I was 40 years old.
You better leave me alone.
No one told me, because the man that raised me, it ended up that his cousin had raped my mother. So they kept that. They kept that secret. Yeah, they kept that secret for so long, and it was just. When I found out, I was devastated, but I had heard nuggets throughout the years of, he's not your father, this guy may be your father. And I didn't really know.
Throw it here to get you to research.
Yes, ma'am. So by the time they told me, I kind of knew because of what I had heard over the years, but it was still hard. And then I started really trying to understand my mom better because I was a child. And when you're a child and someone is treating you bad, you really don't know how to process that.
That's true.
And then I got the grief from 2 siblings passing, and I was by myself. It was a lot for me to carry.
Yeah.
And then I'm in and out of shelters with 2 small children at the time, myself being a child, trying to raise 2 children.
Well, I want to say I honor you today and want to say it before we forget that we honor all the mothers today. I want to say Happy Mother's Day to you. And we're talking to my special guest, one that keeps it real, one that is an overcomer, because they already know, not on my couch, we don't have plastic and fake people over there. Yeah. I don't have time for it, but I just want you to continue to tell that part about after you got out, and where were you with trying to get your kids to understand and embrace the fact that you were trying to be a better mother? Is that what you did, or did you wind up being like your mom? Because for a little bit, I almost was like my mom.
Yeah. For a little bit. I almost was like mine, too. But, I kept looking at her demeanor and her anger because my mom is a stern woman.
Yeah, mine
she means what she says.
That's it.
But she got a bit of cold-heartedness about her.
Yes.
And that is what attracted me to watch her and to study her.
My God.
And I wanted to study that part of her, because I didn't want to be like that.
Yes, me too. I wanted to watch everything. So I'm not going to be like that.
Absolutely. I promised myself when I was young that I wouldn't be like that.
Yes.
So I promised myself that I would be kind and compassionate to people, because it's just totally different from how she is, even now to this day.
My God.
So I just really wanted to study her.
Yes. But as you went on, I know as far as what you're doing now, trying to make sure you get back in that area. How are the kids now? I mean, how are your siblings now concerning the new you? How are they?
Well, my mom always was the type of person that anybody that was attracted to me, she would jump in and, talk about me and, get them away from me.
To make it negative.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what mom would do.
So she raised her 3 children not to like me.
Oh, my God.
So from the time that my siblings were passed away, I was just really an outcast. So I just try to stay away. I allow them to contact me if they want to.
Yes.
But I kind of just, kind of stay away because it's just all negative. So.
Did you find yourself, because I know in some respects, when you find yourself so blatantly being a black sheep, did you find yourself sometimes just wanting to be more alone or by yourself, or you were more introvert, or did you find yourself wanting to be more out to try to get that attention from others? Which one?
I think early on I wanted the attention from others because that's when I started falling into the bad relationships. Yes. But as I got older, I just kind of became an introvert, because I don't mind being alone now. Yeah. But in my youth, I couldn't do that. I couldn't sit in a quiet room. I had to go and be with somebody and be doing something. Yeah. So a little bit of both.
I think mine was a little bit different. I believe that I wanted to be alone all the time because in my head I felt alone anyway. So we have a lot of people that may be watching us that may feel alone, or they may feel that, yes, that is where I am, that is what I have done, because in my head I don't think they really get me. Yeah. So I'm just going to be alone. I don't have to deal with that part of the pain of the rejection for what I feel. But we have people who are alone, who are hearing voices alone, because they feel so rejected and feel negative thoughts about the environment or their family like you did. Did you ever contemplate suicide? Because I didn't get to that portion in your book. Did you?
I did. I thought about it, but I was born when I was born. My grandmother, she immediately I was raised in a family church. So I had a strong foundation of a Baptist background, and I had been in church all of my life. And that's why I couldn't understand, like, God, why am I going through this? Because it seemed like everything that I went through was so hard for me. It was really, really hard.
Yeah.
And it's like I couldn't break through no area of my life. So it was just real hard. It was heavy on me for a lot of years, especially my teenage years.
My God.
So I really have a heart and a compassion and an outreach for teens.
Yes. Did you ever find yourself wanting to medicate with the drugs and stuff? Because I didn't know about drugs. I didn't even know what weed was. I was just saying something stinking in this room with somebody that smoked marijuana, until later I got to understand what it was. But did you find yourself wanting to do I know after I did get to know what it was and tried it, I was like, I wanted all the time. I want pills too, give me alcohol, give me everything. So I was thinking about all these things I went through, So this was making me feel more peaceful and more calm is what I thought.
Yeah.
Thank God for his mercy and grace that I didn't get addicted on none of these things because I believe if crack was out back then, I might have been cracked out, So where were you in that part? Did you find yourself doing which one? The drugs and the drinking and the men, getting with the men and which one?
I shied away from drugs because I seen what it did to
your
my mom
and
my dad. They were literally smoking it in the room.
Oh, my God.
And I seen all the company in and out of the house. And so I shied away from the drugs.
Yeah.
I tried to smoke a joint one time. It was a guy downstairs, and he was giving it away free. And my kids were at my mom's that weekend. I was like, I'm going to try to smoke this.
Yes.
And I smoked that, and I went to sleep for 5 hours.
What
and I woke up, and I said, this ain't for
what?
me.
But see, they had me driving when I smoked it. And I should have been I saw an elephant in the freeway. I went, there's an elephant there. And they went, girl, you just high. It's not no elephant. Yes, I can't do it. I stopped in the middle of the freeway. So it just was not my cup of tea because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it in my own privacy where I've been handling nobody seeing what I see.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, we got people now who are really, really going through this self-medicating. Mm-hmm. What part of you do you think that as you process it, I know I heard you say about, wanting the relationship that would be able to help you get to where you need to be, to make you feel comfortable, to make you feel protected, and the things that will make you feel like I have arrived in some sense. Right. To not need her. I don't have to ask you for anything. Mm-hmm. Tell someone who may be listening, it's an appropriate time to talk about this, I believe, because many mothers who may be listening don't realize why their daughters don't have a relationship with them. Yeah. Many mothers don't understand why, they feel like, I'd rather just call you. I don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
What do you think that you could say to them who may be going through that in relation to a daughter, in relation to one who know that you kept that bitter seed for a long time? Because, that was a painful thing when you described her later learning. Did you ever ask her, why would you just didn't tell me? Do you even see him? I got a bunch of questions going here, but do you even see that particular dad at all?
Well, he passed away.
Oh, he passed.
He passed away. So before all of, an end was put to all of this, he had already passed away.
Oh, my God.
So I felt some kind of way about that they didn't even give me a chance to
Yeah.
know him.
Yeah.
I knew of him. I seen him come over our house a few times, but then I seen my stepdad and my mom fight every time after he left. But
he knew.
He knew.
Oh, my God.
But nobody told me.
Now, tell that part that I was talking about in regards to helping a mother out.
Well, I think the first thing that I would say is that as mothers, we have to watch what we say. Mm-hmm. Because the things that my mother said, they were darts in my heart.
Yes.
The talking about me and the thing, the way that she felt about me, her opinion and all of that, those were darts in my heart. And they stayed in my heart for years.
My God.
Until God started dealing with me about me.
Mm-hmm.
And even to a daughter, that feel like, okay, well, I don't want to be around you. That's the part that God began to tear me up on.
That's the part that made me cry when you tell that story. Tell that part. Because that's why I was like, that sounds like my story.
Yes,
Go ahead.
God, first of all, it started off with God. He told me to walk off my job.
Okay.
And I didn't do it. I was disobedient for probably about a year and a half. He kept telling me to leave my job. I kept having a strong urge to just leave the job.
Yes.
So once I left my job, I started praying and asking God, okay, what is it that you want me to do? I'm sitting in the house. My husband is working 14 hours a day.
My God.
And what do you want me to do? And I just felt in my spirit that I was just supposed to seek him.
Yes.
And as I sat there, God just started to talk to me as I talked to him about my mother and what she did to me. He started to talk to me about who I am.
Yes.
And that began, it broke my heart.
Oh, my God.
Because, we can walk around and we can think that we're one way, like you were saying earlier. And I've been in ministry over 20 years.
My God.
And I've been ordained. I've been, everything that comes with ministry.
And being a preacher's wife.
Absolutely.
Lord have mercy today.
But God started to show me that I was ministering up under unforgiveness and that I was bitter about my life and about my brother and my sister passing and my mom being on drugs all those years and the way I was treated and the way I was talked to and the way that I was an outcast in my family and how I never felt accepted but rejected and abandoned by everybody and the relationships that I had went through. And he started to reveal to me how I felt about that.
Oh,
and while I'm studying talking about somebody else, he started talking to me about me.
Yeah.
And that was painful because I'm saying, God, what about them? And he's saying, what about you?
What about you?
And I'm sitting there and my heart is broken and I'm saying, Lord, well, you got to, help me. What is it that you want me to do? And he just began to reveal the unforgiveness. And he began to tell me that you have to forgive her.
Yes.
You cannot minister up under these conditions.
Yes.
I just kept feeling that in my heart, and I was like, well, Lord, how am I supposed to do that? And it was just a process, and he just kept taking me through a process of cleansing. And it was hurtful because I had to look at myself.
Yes.
And what I seen was different than what I portrayed.
Yes.
And it's still a process.
I know. You better know it
but
is.
But it's a hard process. But, I had a feeling that if I'm going to grow and evolve, if I'm going to stretch out, I got to go through this process.
Yes.
And as I even began to tell my friends about the process, nobody understood because they weren't going through the process.
Right.
But I went to a house, a healing house in Nashville, Atlanta.
Okay.
It was, Nashville, Atlanta.
Okay.
And I went down there and I stayed down there for 4 days in this healing house. And it was me and about 9 or 10 other people.
Okay.
And we had classes every morning. It was in this big mansion, and it was like a bed and breakfast.
Okay.
And they did classes every morning. And I remember sitting there, and the lady, I didn't know them. I just found this place. God showed me to go to this place.
Yes.
And when I was there, she was talking about healing. And I didn't know that was the beginning of a process that was going to be so painful for me. But she told me, too, she said, God told me to tell you before you leave here that it's time for the book. Now, I would have never seen myself writing a book.
Yes.
Because, mind you, when I grew up, my mom was unavailable.
That's
so
true.
I stopped going to school.
Oh,
I had
God.
dyslexia in school.
Oh,
all of my words I seen all scrambled up. I was in special ed classes.
Oh, okay.
I never seen myself writing a book. So when she told me that, I'm sitting there like, I don't know
who she's talking about. That ain't God.
And she told me, she said, what would be the name of your book? And I told her, I said, I don't know because I don't know what you're talking about. And I started thinking that when I left there, it was on me. Heavy.
You had gotten pregnant.
And I was like, oh,
yes,
my
God.
goodness. So I didn't know. I kept thinking on the way home, I was like, Lord, what would be the name of the book? But before I left there, let me just say this part. I had taken the bus. This is how desperate I was to get there. I had taken the Greyhound bus about 32 hours. I had missed the connecting bus because my first bus was late. So I was sitting there, and the connecting bus left, so it took me even longer to get there. I had spent between 28 and 32 hours on a Greyhound bus. When I got there, they flew me back home on Delta.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, God, it was so for me to be there.
It was.
Because it was something that needed to be imparted.
It was.
So when I left there, it was on me. And when I got home and I started going through that process, and God started revealing me, I was like, that's the name of my book.
Yeah.
When God unveils you.
To you. Show them that book. Show them that book. Yeah, we're trying to show this book. Hey there, Prophetess Tanya. Hey, that's my grandbaby I see there, Tyra. Go ahead.
Yes, this is my book. It's called When God Unveils You to You. It's being sold right now on Amazon. It's powerful. I want to encourage you that if you're not ready for God to deal with you, on you, don't buy this book yet.
Get it.
Don't get it. But if you're ready to grow and evolve and go to another level, this is a good read.
Yes, it is a good read. Because trust me, you wouldn't be on my couch. And not saying that my couch is so this and that.
Yes.
But the issue is that I like real people.
Right.
I've really got a chance to really see the real you as you began to talk and share some of my story. I was not dyslexic. I could not begin to even fathom what that is like. I believe I was pretty smart, C, sometimes maybe the average student, never at the point of A. If I got an A, it shocked even me. But I really think that part of being alone and not wanting to connect to some vine within your house that you knew that really had made you feel like a rotten apple for that tree.
Yes.
It did not feel good listening to you. I know some that may be listening to us now. They may not feel good. Here we are at, Mother's Day holiday. But I think it's a perfect message now to let people, and especially if you're a preacher and a first lady, we got to know,
Yes.
So you did get married.
I did.
You did get married.
I've been married. This is my third marriage.
Okay.
The first two were horrible.
Oh, my.
Because I was still in that pain and in that process.
Mm-hmm.
And just looking for somebody to love me
because
of the rejection and the abandonment that I grew up under. But now I couldn't, my God, I couldn't pay for a better husband. He loves me unconditionally.
There you go. That's so
I'm
important.
Very happy now.
Because many of the marriages today and many of those who are dating are conditional.
Yeah.
When you have someone to love you for who you are and love you for the true heart of the woman that you are, then you got your Boaz. Amen. And so, but I just really think that in this time that we're in and what you went through and some of the things that I read in your book, it really touched me to think about who would want to even try to help anybody after all. And the same thing, people say, I'm trying to help somebody. But when I leave here, I want to give the devil not only a black eye, I want to bury a whole bunch of them demons before I leave here in the principality realm that trying to destroy marriages, trying to destroy women and children, and that's why I call my counseling center Building Better Families. I want to build a better family through kingdom-minded purposes and principles to show that you can love God, but you got to make sure that you obey God. Like you said, you had to get to know this is me I'm looking at in the mirror. This is who I go to sleep with every day that Daddy already know everything about. Let me tell the naked truth in this book. Share something significant out of the book that that really, really impacts you. Because we're talking about today, you can see there in the topic, we're talking about the part that I gave for the topic is when life came to barely just existing.
Yes.
What do you really feel that in this book, the part that really grabbed me was the fact that you had made a decision, okay, I surrender.
Yes.
That's just it. I already know it's ugly. Nobody know it like me and you, Daddy.
That's right.
So what made you decide that because you were barely existing, that you decide, I'm going to write the naked truth in this book? How did your husband feel about this naked truth?
He was in agreement with it.
Okay.
He told me, just baby, tell your story.
Mine is the one who told me that, not the one that shot me, but the one that I was married to at the time when I wrote my first book about me being shot. He's the one that encouraged me to write the story.
Yes. Mine did too, and he even paid for it, and he was like, hey, we're going to get it out there. So I'm very appreciative to him.
So share that part about barely surviving to the point that you decide to really look at the true you.
Okay.
So you can help somebody else. And kind of look in the screen when you're talking to them, minister to them about that barely surviving part. And then we'll see if they've got anybody on the conference call line who might want to ask you questions, and then we'll be brought back to our conversation if we don't have anybody. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, it's a chapter in my book called Bare Existence. I came to a point to where I got tired. That's key. We can never move and we can never grow and expand until we get tired.
That's right.
And I got tired of living the same. I got tired of being in the same environment. I got tired of seeing the same people every day. I got tired of being who I was. And because I got tired, when God started to take me through this process and show me myself, I decided that enough running was enough.
Yes.
And that I needed to come past the glass ceiling. Because when we walk in unforgiveness and when we don't allow God to truly take full control of our life, we only go so far. And it's a glass ceiling there.
Right.
But when you allow God to be the head, truly the Lord over your life, then, you'll really begin to open up your heart. And that's what happened too. My heart started to change.
Yes.
Because I would hear people say, God started telling me that only the pure at heart shall see God. And that scripture just kept replaying inside of me. And I was like, Lord, what are you saying to me? And he kept telling me that I'm taking you to a heart place.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, a heart place? And I never understood what he meant. But he kept saying a heart place. And then he just started everything. Just started peeling everything and showing me. And I just, in that house, I was crying.
My God.
I was on the floor crying because I was like, oh, my God, I'm thinking that I'm this sweet, this wonderful, this compassionate. Oh, I've had shelters, and I've ministered to women, and I've ministered in churches, and, I've had money and bags and, think I'm cute at least.
Yeah.
So it shocked me, the person that he showed me.
Oh, my God.
When I thought that I was this other person.
Yeah.
So that was the most shocking to me.
Yes.
And it was the most hurtful to me. But it was the most helpful.
Yes, it was.
Because then the cleaning process started. And I can feel the growth through everything that he would talk to me about. Once I submitted it, I would feel the growth, even in my heart. I felt my personality change. He told me one night, he said, I want your personality.
Oh, my God.
He said, that's what I want you to pray about is your personality.
Yes.
And when we think about us and who we really are, we really don't think in prayer to really give God our personality.
That's correct.
And I started saying, okay, God, take my personality.
Yes, Lord.
And mold my personality into who you want me to be.
Yes.
I want it to be totally different. Change me.
Yes.
Who I am. Change my personality.
Yes, God.
And God started to change me. I could feel little by little. Every time he would deal with me on something, then I would have a little bit of rest, and then he'll start quickly dealing with me on something else. But he told me this was the most hurtful thing to me, doctor. He told me, he said, you got to forgive your mother.
How did that process happen for you? What did you do? So I'll tell you mine later. But how did you get there? Because mine was like, at first, I was real mean. And then I had to clean it up. What did you?
Mine didn't display itself as like meanness. Mine displayed itself as overeating.
Oh, that's what you did.
And depression.
Well, depression, but I didn't overeat, but I did have the depression a lot.
And rejection.
Yes.
It's like I looked for rejection in relationships.
Yes.
I'm looking for you to reject me. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do what I want to do, and I want from you what I want from you, but I'm looking for you. That's right. I'm looking for you to reject me.
Yes.
Because that's what I was used to.
Yes.
I was used to somebody walking away from me, abandoning me, and rejecting me. So I looked for that. And when when God started talking to me about that, it was, I had to fight with that.
Yeah.
I think I fought with that for about 3 months. Now, everything else I was accepting. But when it came to that part, I was like, God, you want me to forgive her. Did you see what she did to me? And God started giving me dreams. And it's like he was telling me, I know. I know what she did to you.
Yeah.
But this is what I want you to do. I want you to forgive her.
My God.
So I just took a couple of deep breaths, and every day I would just say it out loud.
My Lord,
I forgive you.
But then when you see her, your mind is going just crazy. You just crazy.
Especially since, I'm saying this, and then when I see you, you still acting the same.
Dang.
I'm saying, God, why do I got to forgive her? She
Look
feels the same
acting.
way. And he kept turning me back around and saying, I'm talking to you. So I had to deal with that. And I'm like, okay, God. But now I'm so much better.
Oh, praise God.
So much better. And it's still a process. It's still a journey. But it's so much better now because now he helped me to see her pain.
Yes, correct.
And the way that she, is came from something.
That is exactly right. She, too, was a victim.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, of her own little life trial. Yes. But I really think that, what happened to them is not what we want to call our fault.
Yes.
But it is our responsibility to display what Galatians chapter 5 tells us. That's the only thing that keeps me from drop tickets for people. I try to make sure my fruit don't get tainted with what they're going through. I have to remember their challenges as well. Yes. So you have to walk away sometimes and take the deep breaths, like you're saying, or just have to say, well, let me call you back. And then I'll get off and start throwing things and slamming doors and saying, just crazy. But within yourself, now you feel like now you victimized me again. Yes. Now I'm acting like you. Yes. Now I'm going off. Now you're making me lose my fruit of the spirit being right. But that personality was so important, what you talked about, because that personality is really our intellect of who we believe we are.
That's right.
This is who I am. You're not going to try to change me. Yes. That's it. But Daddy knew he had to get that ego. He had to get your person, your mind of what you thought that you was adding all a bag of chips, and that you thought that it ain't my fault, it's her problem.
That's right.
But really God is saying, I'm not trying to deal with her. You don't tell me how to deal with her. I'm trying to deal with you.
That's right. And no matter, I didn't understand that, and that was so hurtful. But that process in itself, Dr. Sandra, that process grew me. Because it taught me how to stop nagging like a baby. And stand up and be the woman of God that he called me to be. And to really allow him, because our relationship with him is personal.
That's correct.
It ain't got nothing to do with what nobody else did to you. So I had to look at it in the aspect of, okay, God, it's me and you, and if this is what you want me to do, this is what I have to do. Because at this time I had started taking my life so serious. It was just like I had to be serious. I had to come to a place of saying, okay, God, I'm going to be serious with this process that you're taking me to, because I'm not getting nowhere at the level that I'm trying to function in right now. So I want you to do whatever. I start telling God, just do whatever. And I'm crying while I'm saying this. And then in the midst of this, my mom goes in, actually last year, 1 year yesterday. So I'm going through this process of trying to forgive her. And she goes to surgery. And her surgery goes all wrong.
Oh, my God.
She went in for a simple hysterectomy.
Okay.
And they end up cutting her lower bowel.
Oh, my God.
And in that process, God told me, he said, now I want you to take care of her.
Oh,
so
Lord.
I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I got to deal with this forgiving process. Now I got to show her love. I got to show her love, because now it's just me and my sister here. And it's nobody else here. All of our family is in Chicago. So now God is, and he prompting me, go every day. I spent my money on parking. She stayed in the hospital about 8 months.
Oh, God.
Because her bowel started to leak in the inside of her. Jesus. She had to go back in for multiple surgeries. She tried to come home. Her stomach was open.
I know.
It had to close
that
itself.
Surgery.
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
a very serious surgery.
Yes, ma'am. And she passed away the second surgery, which was on Mother's Day last year.
Oh, Jesus.
She passed away, and her lungs collapsed in emergency surgery because bowel was leaking on the inside. And then they did the surgery, and then about 4 days after that, she developed another fistula on the outside, so they had to leave the stomach open. And I'm challenged with going and showing her love. And I'm crying, and I'm saying, okay, God, I'm going to go. and I'm going to show your love.
Yes.
You got to do this through me.
Yes, Lord.
Because the way that I feel, I'm still being processed by you.
Yes.
So I showed up every day. I did the very best that I could.
Yes.
And after she got well, she went back and told my aunties that I don't care what she did. I still don't like her.
She still started hating on you after all that sacrifice of love that Jesus was trying to do it out of the Spirit.
But by that time, the hole was broken.
Yes.
And I knew that God,
yes,
I'm just going to love.
Yeah.
That's my choice. We have to make a choice to love.
It is a choice to decide that you're going to do it. But we don't. It's not an option, but it is. That's true. It's a choice to accept.
Yes,
it's like it's a choice to accept Him. Mm-hmm. So you can take it or you can leave.
That's right.
But you can rest assured that love in the Spirit is not an option.
That's right.
It's not.
That's right. It's a choice, and I chose to love her. I chose to let the comment that they came, because, the devil will make sure you know it, too. He'll make sure that somebody come back and tell you, when you're in your process to try to take you backwards.
That's exactly
and
right.
So by that time, it had been 8-9 months. We had been through Kendrick Care Hospitals. We had been through rehabilitation. We had been through 3 surgeries. We had been through ICU. I had seen her in ICU, seeing dark figures and telling me about, do you see that man laying on the floor? And I'm like, yes, she was crossing. And I'm like, no, Mom. And I'm praying. And I remember being in the car one day, and I had read a book about the courts of heaven. Yeah. And I had read this book, and God told me, He said, bring her to the court. And I'm driving. And I started praying. I said, God, I ask that the courts be open right now. And I come to you right now in repentance for my mother.
Yeah, Lord.
And I stand here, God, and I ask that you would heal her.
Yes.
And from that day, she started getting stronger.
Thank you, Jesus.
God started healing her, but she needed me.
Yes.
And if I was never in a position to forgive her and have some compassion for her, I don't know if she would have made it.
You make my eyes well up with you, because your eyes are welling up even now, because we think about those things that we go through with them, and parents or mothers that are watching us now, we think about where we were with them. We think about that we really gave our heart, and we know that Daddy's got the rest. But I guess when you look back, it's tears of joy to know you crossed over. And that's what it makes me feel. If I've done nothing else, I know that in my heart for real, I've forgiven you. And then that's the end of it. So wherever you are, that's something you have to process with Daddy yourself. So you can say whatever you want about me. You can pretend all you want about me. And I already know when you're pretending, because we have great discernment when you've been wounded like that. You have your discernment is very, very sensitive. And so I really think that when you know that you can't dismiss that, but we need to know how to pray about what God is showing us, right?
Absolutely.
That's a heavy place.
Very,
very heavy. And I know I don't know if we got anybody on the call now. I'm talking to my guest,
Shakundala.
Shakundala, Latrice Preston, who has been sharing her story here. It's been phenomenal to talk about mothering and talk about ministry. Do we have anybody on the conference call? You can take your phone off mute. If there's anybody on the conference call line that has a question or a comment from my guest today, because I can't see if anybody's there. Maybe if I switch over here, I might be able to see. Who knows? No, that's not it. No. Anyway, I thought I had the conference call line up. But listen, we want to give anybody that's on the chat here on Facebook an opportunity to say something too. Anybody got a question for my guest that's on the chat here on Facebook? I see she just said grandma. She said my grandbaby's grandma. Hey, grandma, look at you all dressed up. She said we look all dressed up. Yeah, and then who else is that? I see Prophet Tanya's there. I'm sure others will be able to see this tonight. And I'm so grateful that we a little lighter today, because the other video, I don't know what was going on, but I think it was the cameras. But I bless God for you today. I bless God for the opportunity to even share. Tell us a little more about your program, about where you fix to do now, and how maybe some other women or others can get involved, and then share again how they can get a hold of you if they'd like you to come out and share your testimony, or how to get the book. just whatever you want to share now about just connecting to Shakundala, Latrice. Such an interesting name. Beautiful. Did she ever tell you why she named Shakundala?
She said that it was some Indian nurses from India.
That's what I thought it was,
yes,
something on that ring.
In the hospital. And they told her to name me Shakundala. And she said that she named me Shakundala.
Did you look it up what it means?
Yes, ma'am. It means an ancient Indian princess.
Oh, my God.
So I had the opportunity to spend 2 weeks in Hyderabad, India, in 2011. 2 weeks. It was a missions trip with my church at the time. And every time I told somebody my name, they told me the love story about the ancient Indian princess.
Oh, my God.
So, yes, ma'am, it's from India.
That is beautiful. But we know that every name has a purpose. It really does. Some people just come up with names like Cheetos. These poor babies suffering with right now. Because you ate all them Cheetos. Now you want to call a baby Cheetos.
Right.
Crazy stuff. But I believe that God used that nurse or that person that was there to let you know you're still a princess. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, it's amazing.
It's amazing in spite of it all. Now, go ahead on and share that information about you and how they can get a hold of you. And I just love what you're doing now. I hope we can stay connected, too, so I can make sure I can come over there and speak to them women and get involved in what you're doing. Because you're doing foster care, too. Tell them everything.
I do foster care for teens. I am licensed through the state of Texas, and I take teenagers. And because I went through so much in my teen years, that my heart is for teenagers.
Yes.
So right now I am doing foster care. I'm also a life coach.
Yes.
So I coach women. Right now we just do it on a conference call. But it's amazing at how even their life is changing. Because, I keep it real. So let me say that. Don't call me if you don't want it real.
The truth.
That's right. If you don't want it real and godly raw, because I think that we've been pacified too much.
That's correct.
And we're stuck in a place, and that's one of my main topics. I teach women how to get unstuck.
Yes,
because it's time to get unglued.
Come on.
We've been stuck for too long. So I can be reached at area code 281-300-5909. If you would just like to talk, if you have any questions, you can definitely give me a call. And once again, my book is being sold on Amazon. It's a wonderful read. But if you're not ready to see you, don't do it. Because everybody that has read this book, if they had not already been through the process, they call me and tell me about the process that God then began to take them through.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about the way you wrote it. You wrote it in different stages to know this is where you are in this part.
That's right.
And then at the end, you slam dunk us and say, now look in the mirror.
That's right.
Do you still see that?
Yes.
I think that we have to make a decision that, I really see that. Yeah, that is me.
That's right. And that's the hardest part.
That is the hardest part.
For you to look in the mirror and God is showing you that you're wrong.
Yes.
Or that you're a liar. Or that you're a backstabber.
Yes.
And you really have to look at that and be like, okay, I got to work on this.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the stuff God showed me, I was like, okay, God, I really got to work on this.
Yes.
And I dedicated my seriousness to being serious about working on myself so that I can be the best me to give to other people.
You said it. How can you be effective? We have a lot of women who may get to see this video. How can you be effective? How can you parent? How can you spiritually mother someone?
Yes.
That's a whole other topic I have to have you come back on and talk about. We have women in the series I'm doing now in my book talking about spiritual mother that say that they're spiritual parents, that say that they're mothering someone when actually they're not really looking at the real them. This is the reason why God will let things look like they're what they call band-aided.
Yeah.
But if you are not dealing with you, then that person's not going to get what they really, really need. They may get a surface.
That's right.
But what you're trying to do and what I like to do is make sure I get to the root of the matter. This way you can go forward. You can be all that you can be through Christ Jesus.
Absolutely.
Oh, I've just been so refreshed today. I don't know about you, but I've been refreshed just hearing you, tell that truth. And I pray that those that are watching that may be going through or have been there are there right now.
Yes, ma'am.
And especially Mother's Day is coming up. We're not saying just go over there and try to bring roses and fake it out. We're not saying that. We are saying go through the process.
Yeah. just go through the process and allow God to clean up the way that you feel about Mom.
Yes.
And look back at Mom's testimony and the way that she grew up. Look at, you know, what happened to her to make her like she is.
That's good.
Because when we look at each other like that, then we'll have more compassion for one another.
Actually, you know, she could have avoided you.
That's
you know,
right.
we got to also look at where were they.
Yes.
And maybe that haunted her so long, the fact of that secret drove her to the drugs, you know, and things like that. We're not going to try to give no excuses. The fact is that you're here and you're truly an overcomer. You're truly alive, living, and how they say, we bend, we break, we bruise, but we begin again because we are overcomers. Amen. Well, nobody's on the conference call line apparently because I ain't heard nobody say I have a question. But I pray that you all don't just listen to this video. I pray that you will share this video. I pray that what's been said here today has been a blessing to you as it has to me. I know that for such a time, thank you for your hearts. Appreciate that. I think for such a time as this, we're in a time that we have so many young girls who are being promiscuous. I thank God that God has put on your heart to deal with these teen girls because many of them, like I was, because I was only 18 when he shot me. But as a young girl, I was looking for somebody to love me, being like a black sheep, feeling rejected. So I wanted somebody to say, I love you, I want you, you matter. So we have girls that are looking to hear that, but men are praying. We have a lot of them that are older guys, and he was older than me. So they pray on those. They know what they look like. They know how they feel rejected. They can see it in the family. That's right. So they lure and they draw into that. And then these girls get with these guys that are beating them. They have babies. They even hurt their own children, you know. And so when that happens, I mean, we become victims of things that many of us could probably not have to be in. If the church would get in order, if leaders would get in order like yourself, you use their testimony to try to help someone because you've been there and you've done that.
That's right. And stop covering it up.
Yes.
To leaders, stop preaching a sugar-coated message.
Yes.
And tell your
truth.
Be transparent. Because the word even says that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Right. So not only we overcome, though, other people overcome from hearing our testimony.
That's right.
So tell your truth in transparency, and so that people can get free. That's what it's about. Ministry is about giving a word so that people can get free.
And live a practical life of the word. You know, when they hear the word, they see the word in you. Yes. They see how you was transformed. Then they say, well, if she can do that,
that's right,
then maybe God can use me too.
Absolutely.
You know, and so this is the reason why I am transparent. This is the reason why I am going to. This is my truth. I don't care what a sister may say, what my mama may say if they see me on the video here. They know I don't care because this is my truth. Right. I live this.
Yes.
You might not saw it. It might not happen to you, but this is my truth. And I think this is the reason why a lot of people are suffering today because they're like, well, I don't want to hurt mama, or I ain't going to write the book because of that. Well, they got laws to show you how to protect those people's names and things like that. Yeah. But you need to tell your truth when God is telling you to tell the truth. Right. Not because you want to be famous and writing a book or say, I got a book. You write with God, and God pressed on you from that prophecy you got that they said they see a book. And it was God's timing. Same thing with me. I think I was in my 30s before I had that book written about my story. And then many books came after that because God wanted those messages to get out there. He wants to use you continuously as well because I think he's preparing you from where you're going with these teenage kids. Too many of the parents, too many of the youth ministries, all they want to do is have fun. Yeah. Let's see how we can make you beautiful. Yeah. But the heart is dark, and the heart is hard. And we need to deal with those matters within. And I just really, really honor you today for taking that pain and now you working with the teen girls to make a difference. I really honor you today and celebrate you, woman of God. Anything else you want to share before we get out of here?
No, I just want to encourage you all. I know that, for people that deal with rejection and abandonment from mothers, that this weekend may be really hard for you.
Yes.
Not being able to. Some may not be able to because your mothers have passed. Some may not be able to because, you're still holding such unforgiveness, anger, and bitterness in your heart towards mom. But I want to challenge you this weekend to at least give her a call.
Yes.
And tell her about the things that you remember that she did do right.
There you go.
And let her know that you love her. And let her know that you honor her as a mother.
That's good.
And allow God to continuously work on your heart. And next Mother's Day this time, you'll feel better.
Yes, yes. And who knows, God may do something supernatural.
That's right.
On Mother's Day.
That's right.
They may embrace each other and say, I'm so sorry I hurt you.
Absolutely.
You know, God does what he wants and how he wants.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think that in this time that we're in right now, based on what I've heard you say in this message, is so powerful. It's just use this time to just process you.
Yeah.
You know, we can't just keep trying to look at it and go, you.
That's right.
And if we know it's a you, but God is saying, I want you.
That's right.
But we're going to get off here. We thank you so much for joining us today. Please share the message. Whatever you do, if there's any message you want us to concerning forgiveness, I tell you that is one of my faves, and especially because God used you to write the book about it and me to tell the truth about my truth, to show that I don't have to hold that unforgiveness because it's always going to begin with us. Amen. God bless you. We're so glad you joined us, and we pray that this message that you will be a part of our campaign of showing others that they too can begin again. We will talk to you later. Love you. Happy holidays. You know, shut us off over here too. I feel like it's trying to do something. I'm glad I got it on YouTube too. Wait, pregnant. You can see it's kind of dragging. John. Okay. You see how it's slow? I saw it even on there, kind of like going slow. Oh, I think it was a good interview.
Yes, it was.
Really good. Really good. So glad you was able to come today because I didn't know what the weather's going to do. I didn't know nothing. I just know that we was in a fix here because of the weather. I went, okay, you want her on here, you'll get her here safely. And so I believe it was divine. Huh?
Did you hear about that rain coming?
Yeah. Oh. That's why I said, let me let her get in and get home. Because we don't know what it's going to do. It's supposed to be this evening, isn't it?
Yes.
I know.
It starts soon. It lasts all the way up until Saturday.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
I got to go practice and proctor a test at a college. Wait. The devil is a lie. Wait. Something going on. So I bind up every spirit of traffic. Push us against that. In the name of Jesus. But I really think that everybody who is not using any wisdom, because I went on to the store before you got here and picked up a few things for me to have the nibble on here, you know, because you can't just get out and go get anything because it's a rain store. You don't know.
I'm going to stop.
So, but I'm so glad.
So I'm going to stop by the store on my way
yes,
home.
ma'am. I'm so glad you had the opportunity to come over here and sit on my couch. I ain't got the fancy couch like I used to, but baby, I had some stuff in my day. And now I'm like, all I want is some peace. You know?
That's right. Ain't it priceless?
Woo, there's no words for it. Right. I love the nice things and had all the nice things. Yeah. But now I said, well, I'm going to get here, and I gave majority of things away. I just gave my sofa away and gave that this plain sofa. I had a, what do you call it, that Ashley. Oh, ooh, that's beautiful. I gave that away. They said, you gave away Ashley for this? I'm sick. I gave it to a family who I know didn't have nothing. Yeah. And, you know, and when you want to give something, you want to try to give your best. That's right. So God will give you something else. So I was like, I just want it plain. I don't want it. Yeah. And they go, what happened to Ashley? Ashley gone bye-bye. Right. So that means that's all you was looking at was what I had later. Got it? Oh, really?
Thank you so much, Dr. Murphy, for inviting me.
I am so grateful that you had an opportunity to come, lady. I'm glad it's really good when we get back. Get out of here, Lord, please. Let's pray, because I want to pray over that for your ministry. In Jesus' name, yes, Lord. That's my book back over there. This is my book. Oh, no, it's over there. Father, thank you, Lord. Father, in the name of Jesus, I bless this woman of God. I pray over her ministry. I pray over her mind. I pray over, Lord God, her travel, even, God, as she's going. I bind up every spirit that will try to hinder her, Father, from doing the things that she needs to do in the name of Jesus. And I pray, God, that that she would have the safety, that you would hinder the rain, Daddy, that she would get home safely. I pray, God, that this ministry that she's kicking off even now, God, I pray, God, for the increase to come. Every time she sows to these souls, God, that you give her the increase in the name of Jesus. I speak it over her life. And I pray, God, that she begins to wait on you for this next dimension in her life, that things will begin to open up and show yourself strong, my God, in the name of Jesus. And I release that anointing over her now, even God. I Sunday, in court of law. I hear Holy Spirit say, just let him talk to you in regards to this prophetic realm that you're going to be going in deeper. And don't question him concerning what he's telling you to say. Just make sure you know it is him speaking. Because they're going to know to hear the voice through you, to know that you had no way of knowing unless you spoken. We stop. So I release that all over even now, baby. Even now, I release that all over my baby. And she'll receive that prophetic mantle in her spirit, God. That she don't have to even be called a prophet, but they'll know that the prophet is in the house. My God, I release the fire of your glory to rescue and abide over this soul. That she'll do even the greater work, God. Through her lips shall come the fire, I speak in the Lord, that will pierce the darkness, the soul that you have put in her life. My God, I speak the deliverance mantle to be strong on her, Father. In the name of Jesus, and we declare that it is so because we agree. Hey. My God. Oh, I feel that. I just feel like it is. When you start talking to these different people, and God just, they might not even be nobody you know, just you'll be talking to them, that word is going to come. Because of your faithfulness, because of your pureness of your heart that you're trying to help Daddy. So he said, how do you know that? I'm like, I don't know. I guess he just wants you to know. He told you that? Yes. So is Daddy going to speak and that we get no glory? I always say is thank you, Daddy, it helps him, Daddy. Thank you, Lord. That's what it's about. Are you going to let me get glory and let me use you as the vessel of my glory? Amen. I love you so much. I'm so glad you're a part of my life now. Be careful going, okay? Oh, I don't know what this looks like out here. I really don't know. You get back safely, okay? All right, love you. Be careful getting over that water, too. Lord, help the Lord. It's just short to my face with that weight on. What I see the blood, you can talk. And if it's a calorie of depression, weight, I command that you go from this place now in the name of Jesus. I thank you for the blood of Jesus. Thank you, Father. We're going to wait because I don't know what you're doing. I think it's because it's got that in there. I think I need to close you. Tramp. You keep telling me it's craziness. He's going to have a food, period. Whatever it is.